This bridge is taller than the Eiffel Tower. It sits 64 kilometers from the Pakistani border, and it was inaugurated 3 weeks after India and Pakistan fired missiles at each other. The Chenab Rail Bridge stands 359 meters above the Chenab River, 35 meters taller than the Eiffel Tower. It is the highest railway bridge on Earth. It took 22 years to build. It survived 3 wars, 4 prime ministers, terrorist attacks, a seismic zone that shakes at magnitude 8, winds that reach 266 kilometers per hour, and the most hostile mountain terrain on the planet. India calls it a connectivity project, an economic gift to Kashmir. But one former Indian Army general called it something different. He called it a 10-time multiplier for military logistics in wartime. Pakistan and China are watching it very, very closely. In the next 12 minutes, you are going to see the full story. How India built a railway bridge in terrain that engineers said was impossible, with winds that could knock a helicopter sideways, in a seismic zone that has swallowed entire villages, using construction techniques that had never been attempted at this scale. You'll see why this bridge was approved not as an infrastructure project, but as a direct military response to the Kargil War. And there is one detail buried in the bridge's design, something that has nothing to do with trains, that Pakistan's military analysts have flagged as their single biggest strategic concern. We'll get to that at the end. But first, you need to understand what Kashmir actually is. Kashmir, the most militarized territory on Earth. The Himalayan region of Kashmir is claimed by India, see Pakistan, and China. All 3 administer a part of it. Armed groups in the Indian-controlled portion have been fighting New Delhi's rule since 1989. For 76 years, since the moment India and Pakistan were partitioned in 1947. This valley has been a wound that neither country can close. 2 nuclear powers, 1 piece of land, no agreement in sight. Now, here is what most people don't understand about Kashmir's geography. The valley is essentially surrounded by mountains. The only road connecting it to the rest of India is the Srinagar-Jammu National Highway, 185 miles of winding mountain road. In winter, it freezes. In monsoon, it floods. Landslides close it without warning for days at a time. For the Indian Army, this is a logistics nightmare. Troops in Kashmir can be cut off. Supplies can be blocked. The military response time in a crisis can stretch from hours to days. In 1999, after the Kargil War, where Pakistani-backed forces occupied strategic mountain positions overlooking that highway, then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee looked at the map and made a decision. If that road could be blocked, India needed something that could not be blocked. Something underground. Something through the mountain. The result, approved in 2002, funded in 2003, was the most ambitious railway project in Indian history. The 272-kilometer Udhampur-Srinagar-Baramulla Rail Link, 36 tunnels, 943 bridges, total cost $5 billion. And at the center of it all, one bridge over the Chenab River Gorge that nearly stopped the entire project in its tracks. The Chenab River Gorge, 360 meters deep, on walls of fractured Himalayan rock on both sides. Winds that change direction without warning. A seismic zone classified as Zone 5, the highest risk level in India. The engineers looked at this gorge in 2003 and concluded that a conventional bridge, built on piers sunk into the riverbed, was impossible. The gorge was too deep, the water too powerful, the rock too fractured to support vertical foundations of that height. The only solution, an arch. A steel arch spanning 467 meters across the gorge, the longest railway arch of its kind in the world, built with 30,000 tons of steel, anchored by 66,000 cubic meters of high-strength concrete, but building an arch across a 360-meter chasm in seismic zone 5, with winds strong enough to throw construction equipment off the cliff, had never been done before. Now here's how they solved it. Engineers installed enormous 3,000-foot cable cranes on opposite banks of the Chenab River, some of the longest cable crane arrangements ever used in construction. These cranes suspended the steel arch sections in mid-air as workers bolted them together above the gorge. Think about what that means. Workers suspended hundreds of meters above a river in a seismic zone, bolting together 30,000 tons of steel, piece by piece, while the wind tried to rip it apart. To handle the wind specifically, a special type of wind tunnel testing was conducted, combining in-house engineering expertise with tests in Denmark. The bridge was designed not just to survive major storms, but to keep the deck stable enough that trains don't derail in high winds. And then the seismic problem. The steel arch's massive ribs are not hollow. They are filled with concrete inside, giving the structure enormous extra strength, enhanced vibration damping, and significantly increased resilience against blasts and earthquakes. Concrete inside the steel, not welded, not bolted, poured inside the arch ribs after they were erected, like reinforcing a hollow bone from the inside. The bridge is designed to withstand earthquakes up to magnitude 8, high-intensity blasts equivalent to 40 tons of TNT, temperatures down to minus 20 degrees Celsius, and wind speeds of up to 266 kilometers per hour. 40 tons of TNT. That is not an engineering specification. That is a military specification. And that is not an accident. Let's go back to 2002, the year the project was approved, and it was following the Kargil War that Prime Minister Vajpayee saw the urgent necessity of this bridge. The project was formally sanctioned in 2003 to link the far-flung areas of the Kashmir Valley. This was not a tourism project. This was not an economic development project, at least not primarily. This was India's answer to a fundamental military vulnerability that the Kargil War had exposed, that Kashmir could be cut off, that the army's supply lines could be severed. A railway line cannot be blocked by a landslide. It cannot be washed away by monsoon floods. It does not rely on road surfaces that Pakistani-backed militants can target. A former Indian Army Major General who headed operational logistics for the area stated it directly. The railway will be a 10-time multiplier for military logistics in both peace and war. 10 times. Not faster. 10 times the capacity. 10 times the throughput. Now, the Pakistan angle. The Chenab Bridge is located just 64 kilometers from the line of control, the de facto border between India and Pakistan. In any future conflict, the bridge provides India with a logistical advantage for the rapid transport of military supplies and heavy equipment. But it goes deeper than supply lines. The bridge sits near the Pir Panjal Range, a mountainous region that has for decades acted as a gateway for Pakistani-backed infiltrators and terrorists crossing into Kashmir. With 24/7 surveillance cameras, blast-resistant materials, and all-weather connectivity, the rail link creates a permanent security corridor through a region that was previously exploited as a crossing point. India is not just connecting Kashmir to the railway network, or India is closing a door that Pakistan has used for 30 years. Modi inaugurated the Chenab Bridge on June 6, 2025. His first visit to Indian-administered Kashmir since India and Pakistan traded missiles, drones, and artillery fire for 4 days, following a deadly attack on Hindu tourists in the region. The timing of that inauguration was not coincidental. That detail buried in the bridge's design, the one Pakistan's military analysts have flagged as their single biggest strategic concern. It is not the bridge itself. The railway line ends in Baramulla, a town near the highly militarized line of control dividing Kashmir between India and Pakistan. Think about what that means. India now has a direct, all-weather, blast-proof, earthquake-proof railway line running from the Indian plains, through the mountains, through Jammu, through the Chenab Gorge, through Srinagar, all the way to Baramulla, to the edge of the line of control. A railway that can move tanks, that can move artillery, that can move 10,000 troops in the time it previously took to move 1,000, right to the border. Strategic experts believe this is a major blow to both China and Pakistan. The Pir Panjal region, long exploited as a key route for cross-border infiltration, can now be monitored and controlled from a permanent, all-weather infrastructure corridor. Rapid response forces can now reach any flashpoint in Kashmir within hours. Pakistan built its strategy around Kashmir's inaccessibility, around the fact that mountain terrain and weather were India's enemies in any conflict. India just spent $5 billion and 22 years removing that advantage. The Chenab Bridge is not a bridge. It is a statement, made in 30,000 tons of steel, 467 meters of arch, and 359 meters of height above a river, that India is done being constrained by geography. So here is what we know. The Chenab Rail Bridge was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi on June 6, 2025. It stands 359 meters above the Chenab River, 35 meters taller than the Eiffel Tower. It is the highest railway bridge on Earth, and it was built to last 120 years. The Kashmir Valley is now connected to the Indian railway network for the first time in history. Troops can move in hours, supplies can flow in all weather, and the infiltration corridor through the Pir Panjal range, used by militants for 30 years, now runs directly alongside a permanent Indian surveillance and logistics axis. But the real question no one has answered: if this bridge is a 10-time military multiplier for India, and it runs to the edge of the line of control, and Pakistan knows exactly what it means, what does Pakistan do next? We are covering the full India-Pakistan infrastructure war next, including what China is quietly building on its side of the border in response. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And drop in the comments. Do you think this bridge changes the military balance in Kashmir? Or is Pakistan's nuclear deterrent still the only number that matters? I will see you in the next one.